What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network, on Peacock, and on USA Network. As today we're talking Season 3, Episode 6 of Miz and Mrs., called Back to Miz-Ness. So this did air last night after Raw. I said last week because they said in the preview, which I guess they normally say, but I just never really paid attention. They said next on Miz and Mrs., as opposed to next week on Miz and Mrs. So I'm thinking, okay, they'll air this in 2 weeks. Next Monday, that being last night, is 4th of July. They probably won't air it on a holiday, but they did anyway. When there's Raw, there's Miz and Mrs. So this did indeed air last night, Episode 6, Back to Miz-Ness, all about Maurice's return to the ring, or rather return to Raw. We'll get to the return to the ring, I think, a little bit later on in the season, as I'll get to later on. But all about Miz's return to WWE late last year when he came back to confront Edge on Raw. So they start off the show with Miz talking about how he enjoys being home and being with the kids and having that time, but he knows it's time to go back to WWE. It's bittersweet because, again, he enjoys being home. He won't have that time as much when he goes back to WWE on the road. But at the same time, though, he's missed WWE. He's been gone for a few months. I think he said this was the longest he's ever been gone. He said that to Dolph later on in the episode, which I guess might be true. He said, I've never been gone for more than 6 weeks. He was gone, he said, here for 2 months. He was actually gone from TV for 3 months. He last was on Raw, I think in August of 2021 when he turned on John Morrison. They were going to do a match on Raw, and then maybe they did, I don't remember, but they did that turn, and then Miz disappeared for a few months. Morrison got fired in the time that Miz was gone, and then he didn't come back until after Survivor Series. So with that being said, there's a decent chance. He's probably right. I mean, the only other time I remember him missing, like he was off TV for, was in 2014 and in 2012 to go film the Marine movies. And even then he was only gone for, like he said, maybe 6 weeks. So he might not be wrong in that he was gone for 3 months, and that was the longest he's ever been away from WWE. But anyway, while he's home, John Cone, actually, referee John Cone, also one of the senior heads of talent relations, I guess, which I knew about, but I forgot he was that high up in the totem pole. But he actually called Maurice while Miz was home as well, asking her if she wanted to return with Miz as a package deal. And I think at that point, when they brought her back as part of the Edge program, we all kind of knew, even in November, this was leading to a mixed tag at some point, which we ended up getting at the Royal Rumble. Not at day one, but we did get the return of Beth Phoenix at the day one pay-per-view to set up the mixed tag for the Royal Rumble. And Miz feels that he's been at his best, and he's not wrong. He feels that he's at his best in his career when Maurice is with him. 2016, 2017, I can definitely attest to that. Maurice and Miz are a money pairing, and Miz has always been at his best when Maurice is around. I completely agree with that. And he also obviously enjoys having his wife on the road and spending time with her and whatever else. Maurice says that their kids are her priority currently. But she's also excited about going back. She's missed it. This is her job. It doesn't exactly feel like a job to her, but she also feels like she has a responsibility as a mom to stay home. Miz talks about how he's got to get back in shape in time for his return to the ring. He lost 15 pounds, he said, on Dancing with the Stars, and he's trying to get back in shape. So he goes spray tanning. He goes to a tanning salon with Dolph Ziggler, which leads to one of the worst visuals I did not need to see on the show. Of Miz and a fucking like G-string or something. It was not exactly something I needed to see at 11:30 on 4th of July. So just a warning, if you haven't seen the show yet, that's what you're getting on this episode. Maurice, meanwhile, gets advice from Tamina, who's also a mom. And WWE has a lot of moms on the road right now. You know, between Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey, Tamina being one of them. A lot of people probably don't know or didn't know that Tamina's a mom as well. And I think she has at least 2 kids. So she gets advice from Tamina, who she goes way back with. They were on the main roster together for a few years in 2010, 2011. And she asks her, saying, hey, is this something that you think would be a good idea? Like, how do you manage it? How do you deal with it? Whatever. Tamina says that, listen, sometimes moms forget who they are as people, and Maurice wants to find herself. So she advises her to follow through with the return. And meanwhile, Maurice has her kids help her out with her gear, with her new gear and coming back. And, she wants to show her kids what she does for work, what she does for a living, and that being a WWE superstar, because they haven't really had that chance yet. Maurice came back to the ring mere months removed from giving birth back in 2018. Obviously, at that point, her kid, or their first kid, was only a couple of months old. And even in 2019, when Miz came back for the whole, did the whole Shane McMahon feud, their daughter was only a year old, so they weren't watching them at that point. Now they're old enough, or at least one of them is. They're old enough now to really appreciate their mom being in the ring, which is pretty cool. So she's doing it for that reason as well. And while they're gone, while they're on the road, Barb watches the kids, and she says that she mentions how it's going to be, they're going to enjoy it, what all this other stuff, and Maurice even brings up, it's good for them to be alone on their own on the road again for the first time in a while. While they're away and while they're in the hotel waiting for their return at Raw, Maurice tells Miz he has a flat ass. So that was one of the conversations they have in the hotel before they get back to Raw. Maurice doesn't know if she can be a heel again after being a mom for so long, and Miz kind of reassures her, trust me, you can be a heel again. People take one look at you, you're gorgeous, you're with me. They will absolutely boo you, don't worry about it. Which, honestly, I love these pairing. I love these two so much as a pairing. I find it hard to boo them because they're so great and they're so entertaining. But I could see what he's getting at, though. And it's Miz's first time back in front of a crowd with her in years. He saw her the first time in 4 or 5 years, have been back in front of a crowd with her, which is true because she came back during the Thunderdome era when there were no fans. But again, there were no fans. The last time they were probably together, because she wasn't on TV when he was a babyface during the Shane feud and all that other stuff. They weren't on TV when Morrison was around before fans returned, which was only about a month or two before the pandemic happened anyway. So the last time they were probably on TV together was probably during the Daniel Bryan Brie Bella feud in late 2018, leading into Hell in a Cell that year. So that was indeed, at that point, 3 years ago, now 4 years ago. But that is kind of crazy to think about. And obviously they were back in front of a crowd recently when to promote this season of the show a few weeks ago. And the whole Riddle thing happened with the whole ball segment. That was actually pretty entertaining. But anyway, they return to Raw backstage. They say hi to everyone backstage, including Sonya Deville, who wants to work with Maurice. I'm sure she does. As far as Maurice being a big star and she would love to wrestle her, I mean, can't blame Sonya for that one. Maurice says there's nothing like being back in WWE. She calls it organized chaos, and that's where they thrive. Miz actually reads to the kids over FaceTime when they're at Raw, which is fucking adorable. I love that they showed that. And Maurice, in retrospect, is very happy that she agreed to return. Miz says he missed the feeling of being in front of a live crowd and missed having his wife alongside him on the show. And, they get home afterward. They do the segment with Edge on Raw. They get home. It feels like they never left. As far as never left the road, I think that is. And to close out the episode, that kind of ended on a cliffhanger here. Miz tells Maurice, fans want to see you back in the ring, because Maurice is like, what if, what am I going to do if I return to the ring? Do people want to see that? Do I want to do that? What is my gear going to look like? Blah, blah, blah. And Miz says, trust me, people want to see you back in the ring. And ultimately, that's exactly what happened. Not as a regular in the ring was Maurice, but she did come back for that one-off of the Royal Rumble, which is, I'm sure, where this show is leading. That might be the mid-season finale in a few weeks, with Maurice returning in time for the Royal Rumble alongside Miz against Edge and Beth Phoenix. So I look forward to that. But, that was it for Season 3, Episode 6 of Miz and Mrs. Back to Miz-Ness was the name of the episode. Very entertaining as always. These two were just always such a treat to watch, and a very good episode on the 4th of July. Hope you guys enjoyed the holiday, enjoyed the episode, and enjoyed my review. I appreciate you guys. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Speaking of which, so we had an interview go up earlier with NXT superstar Cameron Grimes ahead of tonight's NXT Great American Bash show for the NXT Championship. He's facing Braun Breaker. So check out that interview when you get a chance. My interview with Lacey Evans, SmackDown superstar, went up before Money in the Bank on Saturday. Also an article form on Bleacher Report, so check that out when you get a chance. This is going up today as opposed to on Wednesday because I actually haven't watched Raw in full yet, so ergo I haven't watched Raw Talk yet. That review will be up. It will be delayed. It's coming tomorrow, just not today. So I thought I would. I did have a chance to watch Miz and Mrs. last night, but not Raw because Miz and Mrs. is just a lot shorter and more entertaining. So I thought I would do this review today, and the Raw Talk review will be up before #AskGSM tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that as well. Have a great rest of your week, guys. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.